All right, you magical creatures. Here we are back again. 2 weeks ago, we were sitting in the same spot. We were chatting away. Like what happens with Johanna and I, we get talking about things, and I can get carried away. Like I'm learning a lot from you, and I get carried away. I said we got to get on the show and start wasting all this knowledge. So, how are you doing? How's everything?
I'm great. How are you today?
Very good. Very good. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, learning something all the time now, and you've helped me very much to open up my mind and listen to new things, like this whole soul universe and the whole. How do you describe the whole world, like the soul? Like, is there a term that you use, like the soul universe or the soul? How do you call it?
Well, in yoga, you call it the Atman. Atman is the soul, and Brahman is the source.
Oh,
So but one is a part of the other. It's like a fractile part of the soul. That's why it's just one thing. Like it's not dual.
right.
But to experience this one, there's duality.
Okay, so in the teachings that you have, is it very specific? Because when I'm reading and watching reels and all this time, it seems to be some variations on this whole soul. What do you call it? Rahma? What is it?
The Atman.
Atman. Okay. There seems to be some variations, but in the world in your teaching, is it very specific? Is that
The thing is, a lot of different things stem from the practice of yoga, so yoga doesn't have a specific belief like that. But if
okay?
you look at the scriptures where yoga comes from, this idea of Atman and Brahman, and the idea of we have samsaras, which are impressions, and we need to let go of them, so that we can reach moksha or liberation. It's that part of it is kind of like a part that I just feel very connected to
Okay.
in the philosophy.
And I'm assuming I know this answer already, but are you constantly learning new things, even though like you are? Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd.
No, I think you know what. That's one of the best things that's happened to me as I've gotten older. Is like realizing, yeah, like learning is
Yeah.
like the same thing as going in the gym and lifting weights. You want to be stronger physically. It's the same thing with your mind, right? So yeah,
Yeah, and just having different experiences. Like I'm not a Buddhist. I don't believe in like what they believe in. I don't follow their doctrine the way that they see it, but I go to a lot of Buddhist retreats. I really enjoy their company and I enjoy their teachings. I don't get certain things that they believe. So I'm not gonna like take my vows and become a Buddhist, but I still learn a lot every
right.
time I go and I spend time with them. So yeah, and I think learning is one of those things that helps us. Yoga says that ignorance is the biggest obstacle of our minds. It's
Yeah,
our lack of understanding, our lack of wisdom. And so I feel like learning helps us release ignorance, right?
right.
So for me, it's really important to keep learning, and also that also shows us like how much we don't know, so then
Yeah.
it helps us keep an open mind as well.
And you're right. It's that ignorance, but it's even like the lack of being willing to listen to different ideas, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but that all comes from ignorance. When you're
Yeah.
ignorant, you think that your reality is the only reality and it's
Yeah.
the ultimate truth. And that's part of what ignorance is, and where the ego comes in and feels all full and mighty because I'm right and you're wrong. So
Right.
yeah, it's all stemming from the same thing.
Isn't that kind of like a general statement that you'd make about like Earth, like us Earthlings? Like we believe that Earth is okay. This is the way the rest of the universe is. Like we have us, and one of my topic for the day. Do you have a topic for the day?
I don't go
Oh,
for
okay.
it.
So my topic for the day is time. Okay, we touched on it a
Okay.
little bit. Okay,
Hmm.
but we do. There's so many things that we just assume this is just the way it is. But then
Well,
when
I mean,
you,
think about it. We used to think that the Earth was in the center of the universe and that
yeah,
everything was
yeah,
rotating around the Earth. So,
right,
I mean, that idea
yeah,
alone, or to think that we're the only conscious living being, like
right,
there's billions and trillions of stars and
right.
so many galaxies. Like, how can you think that we are the only sentient beings in the whole
Right.
universe? Like, that just
And,
doesn't.
and that whatever is a being has to be our kind of being, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could a being could be something totally different. Could just be a spirit. You may not even see the other beings. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh, there could be a whole nother universe on layered on top
Yeah.
of this one
Right.
that we just don't have the right equipment to figure out that it's around. I mean, it's yeah.
Totally. Wow. Fascinating stuff. All right. Time. I think we may have started talking about this the other day. Like even like the term now, like there is no now, right? Did we touch on this?
Well, there's only now.
Or there's only now?
There's only now. There's nothing else.
But in the sense of actually like, okay, like if I say, okay, now, well, now it's gone.
Correct. That's why there's only now. There is nothing else. And now is past, present, and future all happening at the same time.
Hold on. Yeah, I like it. Okay. Now you're getting me going here. Okay. So in one sense, like if somebody's saying to you, I want you to push the button now. Well, the now is already gone. So I can't push the button now because the now is already gone. Right.
Well, the now is the only thing there is, and the now is always changing. It's not that it's not here or it's not there or it was here and now it's gone. Like it isn't tangible the way that we think of. Like
Okay.
now is it. Like this moment, this happening. And as it happens, it is potential kinetic and steady energy all at once. So it's kind of
It is
yeah.
okay. It's strange, though, but you see where I'm going when I say now is already gone,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But I get what you're saying too. Like we only have now. Like the future is
It's a
well,
memory. It's a memory,
right,
and you may remember it correctly, but you may also remember it based on your opinion of the memory.
right,
And then the future hasn't happened. So
right,
like it's non-existent. It's just an idea, an imagination.
right.
But yeah, all we have is now. And the crazy thing is like we think that time is this thing that's measured by like the tick 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 of the
Right.
seconds. But yet like if you're doing something and you're like I do not want to be doing this, it takes forever.
Yeah.
And it seems like time is
Yeah.
just stretched out. Meanwhile, if you're like super involved
Right.
and having a lot of fun doing something, time flies, right? So like is it really measured by the tick, 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 or is it measured by the way that you're experiencing it? In which case, then time clockwise isn't really relevant.
I'd like to go back. No, I'd like to go back and figure out. Okay, who first decided that? Okay, we're going to have a watch that has 60 seconds to every minute. I know there's the whole sun and all that kind of stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
like somebody decided all of a sudden, okay, this is a great idea. Or I guess it's probably evolved at some point that that's how they got to it. But
Yeah, I mean, once you started putting everyone in boxes and deciding like this is the way society is going to operate, then that's the way that you keep everyone on the same page,
right,
basically. I mean, it is another form
control.
of control so that you're not late, right?
I know.
If you're just getting up when the sun rises, well, the sun rises at a different time every day. So
Right,
that
right.
can't work.
And we go back to that whole argument: the sun really isn't rising at all. It's just we're a
Mhm.
view. I view of this.
It's
Okay.
just when you're watching it come out. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That just fascinates me totally. So okay, time then.
Mhm.
So it just fascinating to now think about it that our whole life really revolves around time. Like what you get up at a certain time, you go to bed at a certain
Mhm.
time, you go to work at a certain time.
Yeah.
Um, but the reality is, like we talked about it before the show started. I was watching this video. And these two young girls are sitting there. They're supposedly off in the spirit world or the soul world or wherever it was, and they're communicating with each other. But they're not moving their lips. They're talking in another form, right? We're used to talking with. And the one girl says, "Okay, I'm going to get down to earth," and she mentioned the word time. And the other girl goes, "Time? What is that?" Like it was such a foreign concept to her. We're so used to just living in this time world.
Mhm.
We don't have to be living in the time world. Like if we had no time at all, I'm just trying to think of what life would be like if we just didn't have time. Like if there's no clocks, Hmm.
I mean, the thing is, the way that we've created society and the way that we operate in society, it would be really hard to
Yeah,
shift from that because,
yeah,
like, stores have to be open from this time to
right,
this time so that people know when they can go get their stuff. You
right,
need to show up at work at this time so that your boss knows that you're coming in today and that the work's going to get done. So it's just the way everything's been. But I mean, I've mentioned this before. Like, for me, like, time is sort of relevant because I mean my students, we
right,
start at a certain time,
right,
right? But in terms of like Monday through Friday and the weekend, like none of that is really relevant to my
right,
life because I'm like this month I'm working 3 weeks out of the month. So like I don't get a Friday, Saturday,
right.
Sunday. That doesn't exist for me. So I mean, yeah, it's relevant in the sense that it's the way that we keep everyone understanding when things are happening.
Right.
It's irrelevant in the sense that like the way we experience time is different than time in the watch sense.
Yeah.
It's very different. And
Okay.
even what happens in time, right? Like age, experience, like the more time that happens, the more experiences you should be having and the more growth that you should be getting. But is that even real? Does that happen for
Yeah.
everyone? No, not
Right.
really. So why is experience measured in how old you are in years? Shouldn't it be measured in the experiences that you have within that time?
Right.
Like it's
I know. So okay. So if all the things you've learned now, uh, if you were to go back and say you knew you felt the same way about the soul and everything back when you were 15 years old, do you think how would your life be different? Do you think?
probably wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
It
Good.
probably wouldn't. I've been a very open-minded
Oh,
human ever since I was young. I pretty much just did what I wanted. I never thought that life was the way that people thought it was. I didn't
yeah,
really understand what it was, but I knew it wasn't what everybody else was thinking that it was. So
right.
I just kind of lived off the cuff most
Yeah.
of my youth, and I think, I mean, in the terms of like decisions based on how I want to live my life, knowing that this is how I was going to live my life, I probably would have done certain things like take investing seriously from the time that I was very young
Sure.
and things like that. But like no one's talking like that at that age,
Yeah.
you know? So
Yeah.
those kind of things I would have done differently. But in terms of living, I don't think it would have been much different.
See, for me, I was in a box. Like I grew up in that sports world, and this is the way the hockey people do it. That's the way I'm going to do it because that's the way we dress, the way we drink beer, the cars we drive, the way we talk. We all had this language that we use. I'm looking back, like even like I look back and I go, not with regrets, more the learning part of it.
Yeah.
I look back and I go, okay, I used to look at other guys that I played with, and they were all like, we were always kind of being ranked, right? Okay, this guy's better. And I just fell into the trap because other people would say, well, this guy's better than me, or I'm better than
Mm.
somebody else. Instead of just saying, well, no, I don't, why am I saying that somebody else is better than me? I, why am I falling into that trap? That's the biggest thing for me. I think I look back at is not, it's that fine line between respecting people, but also saying, okay, I can still respect them, but I can still be just as good or better than they are. I don't even know if I'd look at being better than somebody else, just the best I
Yeah.
can be, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think my dad taught me that that's not real from the time that I was very young. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful. Like my dad had a with it when he was with his second wife, he had a group of friends that would get together and they wouldn't talk job, politics, money, or religion. Those were not non-negotiables. No one was
Oh,
talking about that. And you knew that the people were not all from the same lifestyle based on the cars that they would come in. Like
right.
one of them would have a Porsche and another one would have like a 15-year-old Corolla. And you know that they're not in the
Sure.
same,
Yeah.
so and but like no one ever talked about it. They just used to have a lot of fun hanging out together. So I think that I was kind of taught that very young in life that like you respect someone for who they are, not
Uh,
for what they have, and that nothing is better or worse than anything else.
Yeah.
because like you could say that a doctor is more important than a plumber, but when a doctor can't flush his toilet, the plumber is more important then, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who's really more important, right?
Yeah. Very
So
true.
I'm very grateful that like I didn't learn to see people as better than or
Yeah.
less than, and I think that that's something that everyone should be taught. Like
Yeah.
we are all different, but that doesn't make us any worse
Wow.
or any better than other people.
It's interesting to say that too, because I grew up in that same kind of world that you were just talking about, where we grew up on a farm where like nobody, it didn't, I don't ever remember thinking, oh, geez, this guy drives a certain car. I mean, it
Yeah.
could care less. Like you got to get the crops off the field, you got to get the cows milked. So everybody, I remember always being the same. But I guess I
Yeah.
kind of fell in this world. It's weird because I grew up in a world like you're talking about, but then I fell into this other world where
Mhm.
everybody's always being judged, right? It's like it's in the paper. It's like you're in front of 18,000 people and they're booing you, they're cheering you. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
and you can be the best of the best of the best, and you make one mistake
yeah,
and you're
yeah,
off that pedestal and ooh,
yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
know we
tough
talked about this
being that.
before. Okay, so this is like I think more and more things. Maybe I'm paying attention more, but more and more things are happening to me based like a lot of the stuff that we've talked about. So I've had a
Mhm.
couple of friends recently that I hadn't been in touch with for a while. They've reached out to me. Uh, One had gone through some health issues. I had helped that person in the past with some health issues, and they were reaching back to thank me. And it was kind of like we were reconnecting as friends and we're communicating. But man, they would go negative right away. It's like there was a person from the past, and obviously that person was that way before. But I feel
Mhm.
like I've changed now. So as soon as they go negative, I'm like, oh, please. Okay, so that happens. And I think
Mhm.
we touched on this before, but I just want to. Would you now reach back out to them and say, listen, I'd love to continue communicating, but I can't talk about negative stuff the way you talk about it? Or would you just realize that's just the way this person is and they're not going to change?
Well, I mean, you can give them the benefit of the doubt and mention it and see, because again, like people have different vibrations, and I know that we've talked about this before,
Yeah.
but like when like attracts like. So if you were at the same vibration as that person at one point in time, those conversations would have just been normal
Yeah.
conversations. It
Yeah.
just would have been what you talked about. The second that you rise and you alter your vibration, now like you're not matching the vibration of that
Right.
other person. So it's not comfortable being in those spaces
Right.
anymore.
Right.
But if it's someone that you care for a lot, and you know that they have certain aspects of them that you want them in your life, then yeah, I would give them the benefit of the doubt and just say, listen, I love you to pieces, like I just can't have all these negative conversations, like
Right.
can we just talk about X, Y, or
Right.
Z, or can we not talk about X, Y, or Z?
Right.
um and if they're going negative, like bring it up, be like, hey now, we
Yeah.
talked about this. No
I know.
negativity. And if they can't hack it, then they're just gonna fall off
Right.
naturally
See, I
anyways.
think what
And
they're going
that's
to
okay.
think is, based on my past experience with this one person in particular, I think it's a she, and I think she's going to be like that. I'm picking on her. That I'm saying
Mm,
she's negative. It's going to be like she's been through a lot of stuff in her past, and everybody
mhm.
has, but she's been through
Yeah.
stuff in her past that kind of made her the way she is. And it's like, oh God, yeah, it's going to be like now a battle. It's funny because I really be in the past, I really was upset, but I was wished we had us kept in touch with each other. So when we got back in touch, I was kind of excited, like, geez, it'd be great to talk again. And at first we're communicating, we're talking, it was fun. But then again, it goes right to the negativity right away. And I just like, oh God, I guess that's why we don't talk to each other anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that really enjoy that part of their life. Like they may not realize it, but
Yeah.
like they revel in it. And like
In
there's
in
nothing
the
you can do about
negativity,
that.
they revel in the negativity.
Mhm.
Well, why is that? Like, why do people?
Um, I, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because it doesn't serve anybody. But I want to say that it's a habit.
Yeah.
Like you're just used to acting and reacting to the world in this way, so you don't even see it as anything
Right.
weird or different. But once you start becoming someone who's aware, that that shift happens within you, and then of course then you notice it on other people, right? So I mean, it's part of what growth is, as a human being, right?
And
But
I
not
guess
everyone goes through the
And I
growth.
guess in my new learning process, and what you helped teach me, is that the things that are happening to you in a negative way, that's part of, you wanted that to happen. Like you're here because you want to learn from those negative things that happen. Right.
Yeah, and that's what makes us repeat cycles, right? If we
Right.
don't look at the things that are happening and we try to learn from them, then we're just going to keep going through it until we learn whatever lesson that was trying to teach us.
Right. Our buddy Danny Erickson here it puts it pretty clearly. When I turn negative, my wife makes me aware of it. It tells me to turn it off. That's, I guess, if you've got it, obviously they've got a long relationship. They love each other. There's a real understanding of how things are. So this is a pattern. And she realized, okay, he's going negative. So I'm going to tell him to shut it off. Yeah.
Well, and that's the good thing about like having people that you're close with is you can
Yeah.
literally just be like, okay, listen, so this is what happens. Every once in a while we get in these conversations and then I don't know where you turn negative. When you do that, I'm gonna do something to make you aware of it. And
Right.
like it can be like meh, or just come up with something that's
Right.
gonna be your thing. And that way it's
Right.
make it
Okay.
light.
Here's another one too, kind of in the same vein. So I got a really good friend of mine, and they've gotten to this point now where and it's more of a health issue right now, but it's kind of, I think it's more of the personality. So if something is going on, like they may feel faint, well, now they'll go right to, okay, I've got a brain tumor or whatever it is. Right.
Okay.
And they get all the tests done and everything, but they still are just like, oh God, I can't get rid of it. And I'm trying to say, okay, let's find something. Like I use the example of box breathing. I said, let's find something. It doesn't have to be box breathing. Here's an example. So that when you get to that point, you get something else to think about.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do that though. They want to continue to fret over the small things, right? So it's like to your point, I guess, where they're just so used to being that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that happens to a lot of people, especially people that have like major things happen in their life that
Right.
affected them and changed them or their situation, and then they become identified with that thing that happened and literally make it a part of their identity of who they are.
Sure.
And whether good or bad, I mean, it is what it is. It's just part of what humans do, but it usually doesn't serve us. So it's good to kind of be aware of it.
Yeah. Do you drink alcohol?
Every once in a while.
Right.
Yeah, I can have a glass of wine. I
Right.
wouldn't I wouldn't have like a lot to drink. I don't love the buzz of alcohol.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Okay.
No.
Never
There's
have?
other things I rather.
Oh, okay. Right.
No.
More natural stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just still yeah.
Right.
So I can have a drink, but it's gotta taste good. Not I
Right.
won't have it just because of the alcohol. Like if I don't like the way it tastes, I'm most likely not gonna finish it.
It's like I've got alcohol out of my life probably 2 years ago. And it's funny because now people, if they want to stop drinking, they're making it into a big deal. And I try to say to them, well, it really isn't that big of a deal. Just say to yourself, you're not going to drink anymore. That's really the end of it. And I think,
Well, I think it goes back to like you being used to doing something. Like
Yeah.
if you connect going out and sitting down at a restaurant and eating with ordering a drink, like there has to be something
Yeah.
else
Yeah.
that you put in it. So there's like tools to help you with
Right.
stuff like
But
that.
it's another one of those things that we've kind of, as a society, we've gotten convinced that we're supposed to do that, right? You're supposed to go to a restaurant, you order food,
Yeah.
and you order wine, right? Or whatever drinks you want to drink.
Yeah, I mean alcohol is one of it's a very low vibrational
Yeah.
food, or
Yeah.
if you want to call it that. It's whatever you ingest. Like
Right.
it's a depressant. Like
Yeah.
there's so many things with alcohol that if you
Yeah.
look at the history of even the word, it comes from a demon, alcohol.
Oh.
So I mean it's not the greatest thing
Yeah,
that we could do to
it's
our
true though.
body.
You think about it, you're going out to have fun, but then you drink a depressant, something that depresses you, right?
Mhm.
It's,
It's just that while you're under the influence, right? Like you're
yeah, you
more
see,
flowy,
right?
but
But
I
you,
mean, long term though, it doesn't.
yeah, I also, it's almost like you can. Oh, I'll tell the story. I mean, I can't remember if I told you a story or not, but I've reluctantly told the story. So when I first went to college, I had never seen any kind of drugs growing up on the farm in Canada, drinking beer, whiskey, whatever it is. And I got there, and two guys in our team, hockey team, got caught smoking pot. Now, in my mind, this was heroin, cocaine. It was all in the same category. I was like flipping out. Did I tell you this story?
No, but keep going.
Okay. So, like the guys are like, Tom, settle down. Like, it's pot. It's not that big of a deal. So I, 2 weeks later, decided that I was going to buy a pound of pot, and I was going to become a dealer. Now, I'm not proud of the story, obviously, at all. Didn't sell a drop of the pot. Smoked my first semester, smoked a whole pound of pot. And I remember thinking, I don't enjoy this at all. Like, even trying to smoke it, I would cough and gag and a whole bit. I would get stoned. And I didn't want to go out and have fun. I just wanted to go to the deli and buy a bag of the white powdered donuts and eat the donuts. That's all I wanted to do. And it's one of those things I look back at, like, why was I doing this? It made absolutely no sense. It's the same thing with alcohol. It made no sense whatsoever now looking back at it. But alcohol was a huge part of my life for many years.
Well, yeah, I mean, you go to college and they make it such a thing. Like it's like you got to go to the frat parties, got to go drink, and it's like,
Well, then
I think I did too much of that when I was younger. And so like once I got older, I was like,
yeah.
Wow. I did smoke for a lot longer than I drank though.
And you don't smoke anymore?
I'll smoke every once in a while, but no, not the way I used to when I was younger.
But obviously there's some people that are able to just quit things like that. There's others who have like chemical dependencies on stuff, right? Or do you believe that?
There is such a thing as an addictive personality. Like some people are more easily create habits than others. Oh yeah, I definitely believe that. Why not?
Right. Yeah. Oh man. I mean, like growing up on the farm and playing hockey, the combination of those two worlds, drinking beer was just like,
a part of it.
Oh God. We would like during the summer, we all drove pickup trucks on the farm. So we would go play hockey during the summer. We'd have a cooler of beer. It'd be really hot outside. You're sweating and everything. Got a cooler of beer in the back of the truck. You go park out in the field, turn your lights on so everybody knew where you were so they could all come and have a party. Now you're dying of thirst. The beer is on ice cold. So you're pounding like 12 beers in 15 minutes. And you're just like, jeez. And you get drinking and driving is terrible. It was back then, it was whatever you want to do kind of mentality. So,
yeah,
oh, man. Drinking beer was, if you weren't drinking beer back then, there was something wrong with you. It's weird thinking about it. Like in early too, like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I thought, so when I'm playing junior hockey, I'm hanging out with these older guys. So I'm thinking, Tom, I can do anything, So they're drinking, like we went on a road trip one time and they had lemon gin and all this kinds of stuff. And I'm drinking gin and vodka and they're going, Tom, you're going to get sick. And I'm going, screw, I'm not getting sick. Oh, awful. And you think I would have learned my lesson too. It's just like nothing.
No. At that age, it's harder to learn lessons.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. Right. Yeah, definitely. So what's going on in your world? Any traveling coming up or what's going on?
No, I got a student here at the moment. We're doing teacher training and then she's gone on Friday and I have another one coming on Saturday. That's going to do some mentoring and then I have a coaching client the week after that and then I'm going to Bali. So we're rocking and rolling.
Going with the hubby? Are you going with Leo to Bali?
No, I'm taking a group on a retreat, 2-week retreat.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Have you been to Bali before?
I have, yeah. This is my third time doing this retreat.
Is Bali one of those places where they got the huts over the water and everything like that? Is that one of those?
They have it in some, but that's not kind of what we're doing. It's more like a yoga adventure. So we're going to volcanoes and temples and snorkeling and doing all kinds of fun stuff. Cool. Hiking in the middle of the night.
Are you really?
Yeah, we're doing a volcano called Mount Ijen. It's a blue lava,
right?
Blue flames that you have to wear like the mask and everything. So we're gonna hike at like 1 a.m. so we can get there by like 4 a.m. and see the lava and then watch the sunrise on the top of the volcano.
So you'll hike for 3 hours to get to this volcano. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah.
Very
with
cool.
a little night headlight.
And then where did you stay? Did you stay in kind of huts when you were there, or like out in nature?
No, I rented a hotel. Like we
Oh,
have, it is sort of bungalowish, but it's not on the water like that.
oh,
Because we're going to 3 different islands. We're going to Bali, Nusa Penida, and Java.
oh, okay. Java.
Java.
Hold on. Our girl here from where's she from? Hold on. That's the wrong one here.
Tom should have a vacation.
Pepper. Pepper's a local dog that used to live here. They used to torment me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I really think the dog's life was surrounded. Like he came back, his soul came back. Like he was at the soul. He says, "I'm going to come back and I'm going to torture Tom Laidlaw." I think that's the dog. That was the dog's soul.
Oh, that's great.
Here's our girl. This is what I wanted to touch on. Our girl, Ellie. How you doing there, sweetie? Where was she again? New Mexico or something? Where was she?
California.
California. That's where it was. Very cool.
California.
California. What's going to touch on? There's something there.
Hold on. Let me plug in my computer. It might die.
Okay. Yeah. This is coming to us live from Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Very cool. And so now, so you go to Bali. Where is Leo out playing? He's playing poker when he's gone. He's traveling around playing poker.
No, he's not coming to Bali. He's got his sciaticas messed up, so he's doing physical therapy right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he would not be able to sit on a plane for 20 hours.
Oh, I know. God.
Yeah.
No, I think.
But I'm going with some really cool people, so I'm excited.
Okay, so let me see here. Ron Jameson, let's do discussion today.
What's the discussion today? Time. We started with a talk about time and the relevance of time.
Right. Interesting, isn't it? Like there's so many things that funny thing is, I know we've touched on this. The more we discuss stuff, the more I realize I have no clue on a lot of stuff, right? There's so many things that just I've been ingrained in my head that this is the way it is. Yeah. I think
the funny thing is that none of it is real. It's like that's the crazy part of it, of the human. Like you grow up thinking all of these things are right and wrong and are up and down and then you start to realize like, oh, that's just an opinion, that's just the belief. And then you start just kind of molding everything, and that's the fun part of life. Like we are co-creators. We legit get to co-create this experience that we're manifesting. And like once you really truly understand that and you start like being intentional with what you're co-creating, it gets fun.
Yeah, once you start thinking that way, it's totally different. Because I've always believed that I had no choice to come into this world. My parents brought me into the world, and that was it. And I was stuck with whatever. I had no choice. Now I think, okay, it's the opposite way. I chose to come in. My soul chose to come in this world. So well,
even if you don't believe that, even if you don't believe that you chose to come here, still, like, you know that humans are co-creating this experience. So like you learn that from what you see, from what you experience. So like taking advantage and ownership of that and really going with it. It's powerful. It makes life a lot more fun.
Oh, I know a topic I wanted to touch on: forgiveness.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So let's say, well, there's a lot of different forms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a hard time with that. Like, if somebody turns on me, like, especially, I think it's even worse. Like, if you're really close to somebody, a spouse, whatever it is, if it's infidelity or lying or whatever it is, I think the person that's closer to me, if they do something to me, I really tend to be like, okay, that's it. You're done. Like, you know, you're supposed to be my friend. You're supposed to be my wife, whatever it is, and now you're not loyal to me. Man, I have a major problem with that. Is that?
Well, there's two things there. Like one thing is when you forgive someone, it has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you.
Okay.
Because you're the one that suffers from the resentment that you have towards somebody else. They don't feel it. They don't even know how you think. They're not in your head. They don't know the difference.
Hold on. Okay. Can I argue with you a little bit here?
Wait, hold on.
Okay,
so the forgiveness part comes with you releasing that attachment to the anger or resentment or whatever. Like it's not about the other person. Like the forgiveness aspect isn't. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to keep them in your life. You can forgive them and happily let them go
Right.
and know that they are not the kind of person that you want in your life. But to keep the resentment or the anger, that affects you. It doesn't affect the other person.
So you're saying if somebody does something, somebody lies to me, a close friend, even though I tell them, hey, listen, you lied to me, that hurt. You're saying they don't know how they've hurt you? Is that what you're?
Oh, I'm not saying that. They
Okay.
may have hurt you on purpose for all
Oh,
that you know.
okay.
But when you hang on to the anger and the resentment, the person that's being affected by that is you, not the other person.
Right.
They may not even understand or know, or they don't feel it, they don't hear it. But if you're in your head mad and upset, that negative energy, you're
Right.
the one storing that, not the other person.
Right. Interesting. Like with a spouse too. Like I hear stories about if a man or woman cheats,
Yeah.
and the other one takes them back. Like, man, is that an uncomfortable life to live in after that, though? I mean, like,
that depends. Like if you take them back and you're willing to like fresh slate, then no. But if you take them back with the idea of holding onto that resentment, then yeah.
okay, there you go. That's okay. Is it resentment? Okay, so let's say a man goes out and cheats on his wife, and the woman says, "Okay, we got kids. I want to keep this marriage together." But she's always going to be thinking when he goes out that door, he cheated on me before. How do I know he's not going to cheat on me again? That's not really.
She doesn't have to think like that though.
Ooh, but that's tough though, isn't it?
I didn't say it was easy.
Right.
But like if you're truly willing to forgive someone and you have an open conversation and you're willing to start with a clean slate, then you're not assuming that every time he goes out the window, because then that implies that it isn't a clean slate. You're bringing all that baggage with.
Right. Ooh, that is a stretch.
That's maturity right there.
Whew. I mean, that is, man, I've heard stories about people being like that.
I'm not saying I could do that.
Yeah.
By the way.
Oh,
I didn't say that.
I know, right? Because you're thinking.
I would say I forgive you, but you're over here and I'm over there, and I send you with lots of love. But I because I find that there's a level of respect that's broken there.
Yeah.
But I would still forgive the person because I would understand that they can only act like they can act, like based on their experiences and who they are, and like. I can't really change that. I'm, if anything, happy to know and that I can move on. Like,
yeah, you're right. You'd rather find out, okay, they're cheating on me. Okay, now I'm glad I know. I don't hate you, but I'm moving on. I'm not going to allow that.
Yeah.
That's
but kudos to the people that can, and again with a fresh slate. Because if you keep the resentment, then you're hurting yourself.
Yeah, totally. But that would be that'd be a tough thing to do. Think, okay, my husband now, he showed me he cheated on me once, and who knows if I found him one time, then obviously he was doing it more than once. You would assume.
Maybe.
Yeah, right. There's no guarantee in that. But now the rest of my life with him, I'm going to be thinking, okay, how do I really know that he's not cheating on me again? That I don't. I'm not trying to argue.
But I think if you're gonna hold on to that, then you shouldn't stay with the person.
Totally.
You know?
I agree. But how do people get to that point where they're willing to say, he's cheated once, but I'm going to trust him again? I mean, that's a good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, that's going to depend on the person. That and for me, the lack of respect would be. It wouldn't even be the cheating per se. Like it's not the action. It's the lack of respect and communication. Like I feel like if you really wanted to be with somebody else, then like let's have a conversation about it, because then there's an underlying issue there, that needs to be addressed beforehand.
Okay, so the husband comes home to the wife and he hasn't cheated, but he's unhappy in his relationship with his wife, whatever it is, and he's going, honey, I'm having feelings now that I want to go have sex or have an affair with another woman.
I mean, I'd much rather you say that than you tell me,
Yeah.
"Hey, I cheated
Yep.
on you with another woman." So,
Yep.
I mean, because then it's an open conversation and you
Right.
guys can come up with a solution. Even if that means, okay, then go be with that woman. Like, I just don't think I can fix this and
Right.
whatever, like, but I think the communication aspect of it is what's important. Like, communication is such a huge key. Like a lot of people think in my relationship, like it'd be really hard to be faithful. And like Leo and I had a conversation about it. Do we want an open relationship? How do we want this to roll? Like let's set up and establish the rules to how we're gonna run this
Right.
and make it successful.
Right.
And we decided we didn't want an open relationship and we wanted to be monogamous. And so like that also adds like another level of responsibility because you've now made an agreement
Right.
to this and discussed the various options. So I don't know, I feel like communication is really
Yeah.
so important.
And I think, and for me, like it touched on me, it's who you made the agreement with too, right? Like it's not just some
Hmm.
random person. This is somebody
Hmm.
that you love, like in your case
Yeah.
with Leo, and you've committed to him, and to
Hmm.
now violate that in any way like that, that lack of respect. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Totally.
I'd much rather say, listen, like I met someone and I didn't intend to have feelings for that person, but a part of me does. And
Right.
like I much rather be open and honest
Right.
than after, because I don't, as a human, like I mean, we've talked about this before. I don't really think that humans are meant to be monogamous. Like
I know.
that's one of those things that society did. Like we are not penguins. Like we are way too we evolve
Right.
so much if the right conditions are set up for us that I don't know. Like if you asked me the guy that I thought was the love of my life when I was younger, like I look at them now and I'm like, "Oh my god, I would never want to be with
Right.
that person."
Right.
Right? So like I yeah.
I did see an interesting video where a very attractive woman, she was married, kids, she's actually her husband's, and she's actually speaking to her husband on it. It appeared like it was a real video, like she's talking to the husband and she's holding her child in the whole bit. And she's talking about the fact that, honey, listen, if the right situation came up, I would cheat on you. I would be with another man. That's why I don't put myself in those situations. Like she was very honest with him. Say, I don't allow myself because, like just like you're saying, we're human beings. We're not supposed to be with the same person all the time. But it's what
Yeah.
we do with it. She was really, I don't know how I would have taken it when she's if I was the man, but she was very honest. She was saying this, but I would never put my marriage, my family is way too important. So I don't put myself in those situations where I could
Yeah.
potentially fall something
I
like
also think like finding someone who you wouldn't feel that way about is important too.
say that again.
Like finding someone that you like, again, we may change, but if you come into the relationship with the thought like, oh, I can't put myself in this situation
Right,
because I would do it, like
right.
I would think I would, I don't know, I
I
would
know.
have probably chosen a different person to be with, because I mean I have zero interest in anybody else. Like
Well,
it's
see
not.
that's interesting you say that because I was thinking when she's saying that, I think, well, that's very open and honest. But then I was putting myself in her husband's shoes, and I'm thinking, I don't know how much I'd like that, right? Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
want
the knowing is important because
right,
like I mean now you understand where this person is and where they're coming from, and you can decide whether or not like you
right,
can live
right,
with that or
right,
not. But like at least now it's the cards are on the table.
right.
Maybe then you decide, okay, so let's get a hall pass, like I don't
I
know,
know.
like
I got to tell you though, be totally honest. Like, part of the thing with me is, um, if I'm in a relationship, I would want to know that I am it for that woman. That,
yeah.
yeah, like you're saying, I wouldn't want her to be attracted to somebody else. Is she human? I mean, if some attractive guy walks down the street, do you look? I mean, but I would want it to be okay. So we all look, but we're not like enamored with this other person. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but again, that might change. You might feel that way now, and
Yeah.
then you evolve as a person, and the other person doesn't evolve, and then
Yeah.
those feelings change. So
Yeah.
it's also being open to that. I mean, I never thought I'd get married because I mean, my dad was married 3 times and divorced. My mom was married 2 times and divorced. Like, I don't have a lot of people in my life that got married to someone and then just stayed with them forever. So in my mind, I was like, well, I'm not even going to get married because
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through that. But I met someone who changed my mind, like it's one of those things like I had never felt that way before.
Right.
So obviously I didn't think that that was even a thing.
Right.
But then the universe showed me it was. And again, if things change in the future, like I can't tell you that. I mean, I'm in my early 40s. I got a lot of life to live. I don't know
Right.
what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I mean, don't you think though you make a commitment to somebody and that, I mean, it's, yeah, you can change, but you can't just see. That's the thing with me. I just, that whole, not just loyalty, it's the, well, being on the same team. Like you've made a decision. We're on the same team together. And if you
yeah,
change,
but sometimes you grow and then that team doesn't work for you anymore. Like, I mean, we have to be honest with the fact that that does happen.
oh, yeah.
Especially in a spiritual journey. Like if two people are together
Yeah.
and one of them embarks on a spiritual journey and the other one doesn't, I can promise you
Yeah.
they're gonna have
Okay.
a hard time staying
Okay.
together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a tough one. Yeah. I agree.
It
And
is. It
go back,
is.
yeah. I mean, because okay, so it could be two great people that are loyal, faithful, honest people, but they've just changed. One's turning whatever religion or whatever it is, they've changed their life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I mean, the other person, that's not what they fell in love with. So I mean it's
Yeah.
like, and there's nothing, and you can't say there's something wrong with it
I know.
because
Yeah.
I mean, human evolution is part of why we're here. So I mean, we
So then,
can't.
and not being disrespectful to you in any way, and Leo, but then why bother getting married at all?
Well, that's why I never thought I'd get
Right.
married. I ended up getting married because, well, I mean, our situation was very specific. Like we couldn't really be together if we didn't get married either. So,
Right.
because he's from Ireland,
Oh,
so he needed
okay.
his green card.
Yeah. All right. All right.
But I mean, I still feel like if I didn't think that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him, I wouldn't have
Right.
done it just for that.
Totally.
But
Yeah. Marriage. It's a wonderful thing.
it is.
Well, I mean, and I'm married, divorced twice, and honestly, God, like my first wife, I had my two sons with. So I think I'm very proud of myself that I've gotten to the point where I just said, listen, I really don't care what the relationship was, good or bad, why, whatever. I got my two sons, so that's the end of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to your point too, where man and woman staying together for a long period of time, like men, I look at it that biologically speaking, men are made to reproduce. That's the role in society, right? Isn't that? Don't you look at it that way? Like,
I mean, as an animal,
Yeah.
at the instinct level and the pheromones level, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. And I see these people that are married for 50 years or whatever. And honestly, when I meet people that have been married for 50 years, I go out of my way to say to them, listen, and I'm not joking when I say this to you. I say, listen, I admire you. That's a huge accomplishment. An old teammate of mine.
I think those people, like especially nowadays, like they have to be really amazing friends. Like
Right.
I think that the communication and the friendship in the relationship, like if that keeps being nurtured, I
Yeah.
think that that's really
Right. Yeah,
what
because you
gets you
think,
that far.
what are the stats? Though? I think 50% of marriages end in divorce, right?
I want to say it's more than that
Yeah,
now.
I think it is higher. Of those people that remain married, how many do you think?
Are
I mean,
actually happy.
well, yeah. I mean, how many are certainly how many people are as happy as they were the day they got married? I mean, that's
Well, I mean, like that's another thing with like the physiology of humans,
right.
like at first it's a lot of pheromones and a lot of
Yeah.
attraction and a lot of all this, and then just like every other drug, we keep taking it after a while and then it does less and less and less. And if
Yeah.
you're the type that's chasing the high, then it's also harder to stay because you're losing that aspect of it
Right.
as time goes by.
Okay, we're really getting into relationships here. Okay, here's another one.
This was not a planned topic.
I know,
by the
I know,
way.
I know. I kind of like this though when we don't have a plan. Okay, so do you believe in a relationship, man and woman, that there needs to be one of the two that is kind of taking the lead, that is the lead dog?
I think that depends on the personality of the people in the relationship because if you have someone who's very indecisive,
Right.
like if the other person doesn't take a little initiative, then like how are decisions ever going to be
Right.
made? So I think that depends on the personalities of the people involved. But I also think like discussions are
Right.
important if that's something that's like important in the relationship in terms of decision making.
And it's really what do you consider to be the lead dog? Like to me, I grew up on the farm where it's the man walks on the sidewalk side. To me, the street side of the sidewalk. He opens doors. He puts the woman's coat on. He pulls out the chair. Nowadays, sometimes women look at you like, I can do that myself. Well, I know you can do it yourself. It's not that I think you can't do it. It's that you're my responsibility, and that I'm going to take care of you. And I think women tend to get offended by that sometimes now, right? Or
Yeah, I don't know. The way things are nowadays, it's gotten
yeah,
a little weird. So I don't know because I'm in that like space of age where like I did grow up with more gentlemen kind
right,
of things, but like I also saw this like revelation of women being
yeah.
like, yeah, I don't need any of that from a man. So yeah, we're in a different space right now when it comes to
I
that.
I talked to a lot of
I
guys.
definitely enjoy getting my door open and
Yeah,
and a guy carrying something heavy for me. Like I'm never going to say no if you
right.
ask.
To me, it's just a real sign of like like I see some guys, and maybe it's more younger people now, especially when I go to like the hockey rink, for example. So the little kids have this big bag of hockey equipment, and I see the husband and wife walking together, and the wife is carrying the hockey equipment, and I'm going like. It's the man's job. It should be the kid's job, but they're not old enough to carry it yet. So I see, and the man, I'm like, I almost feel like saying to the woman, like, what do you, I just don't understand the logic. Did you, and when you, the rare time, if I get to know people and I joke around about it, the woman goes, like, she doesn't even think about it. So now it thinks, well, yeah, why am I carrying the bag? It's just like they've been ingrained in them to carry the hockey bag. And that's an example, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that's all very independent to the couple and the personalities of
yeah,
the people involved. Like if you have like I never thought I'd be with a man because I'm very self-sufficient. It doesn't
yeah,
mean that I'm not grateful if someone helps me with something, but that like that's just the way I think specifically, right? So that's
right.
going to be very independent
Yeah.
for every person.
There's some great videos out there where a woman's like stopped at a light or whatever, and a guy yells to her, and she's got a flat tire, but he's trying to get her attention. She looks, said, "Don't you talk to me." The guy goes, "You got a flat tire," and then she goes, "Oh, can you fix my tire for me?" Well, she didn't want anything to do with him until she found out she got a flat tire. He's trying to be a nice guy, but it's kind of I think it's kind of metaphor.
I had a flat tire once. I was on my way to see a personal training client. This was in like 2010.
Right,
It's pouring rain.
right,
And this guy is trying to help me, but like
right.
I am very capable of
Yeah,
changing a tire.
that's it.
And so after like 10 minutes, I was like, I need you to stop helping because I need to get going to
Oh,
work. And
oh,
I know that you're trying to be a gentleman, but I can do this a lot
oh.
faster. And so
Oh,
he just stood there with his arms like this in the rain
yeah.
and watched me change my tire. It
Because
was
I'm sure
sort of
he thinks he's
interesting.
being a great guy. It's raining. Here's this woman. She doesn't know what she's doing. Meanwhile, you've driven race cars and everything. So yeah. Oh,
At
that's
one
fun.
point, I was like, "This is not gonna go well if I wait on this guy."
Yeah. I was going to an event probably like 5 years ago. So in Manhattan, it was a comedy club down the city. It pouring rain. It was one of those things you just like the floodgates just open up and start raining. And it really wasn't expected. So I'm walking, I've got a suit on and everything. And I really use an umbrella, but for this night, I've got the suit and everything. So I'm thinking, okay, I better keep dry. So I'm walking along. I'm probably about a block from the place I've got to go. And this young girl is hiding under one of those awnings in the city. It's pouring rain. She had a dress on, didn't have any jacket or anything like that. I said to her, I said, take my umbrella. She looked at me like she thought I was like some kind of like a murderer or something like that. I said, just take the umbrella. And I turned as quickly as I did. I handed it to her. I had to walk away because I didn't want her thinking I was like hanging around being some kind of a stalker or something like that. And she kind of had that look in her face like, oh, okay, I guess he was actually a nice guy. And I really didn't blame her. Obviously, has been ingrained in her head that, men can be scary dudes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, you never know what background and what
Yep.
ideas someone
Yep.
has when you're going to
See,
do something for them. So
that's a thing that, okay, here's the topic for you. So sometimes I believe, and I don't blame women for this, they don't understand how men think sometimes. Not all men, but some men think with their penis.
Mhm.
And so when they put themselves in situations thinking they're totally under control, and you try to say to them, listen, I'm not accusing you of anything. You're not doing anything wrong. I know how men think, like I'm a man, so I know how men think. And women are like, sometimes they look at you like, what are you talking about? And I go, like, it's difficult to have the conversation. You feel like you're trying to, because for a man it's so logical that, yeah, we're here to reproduce. So.
Yeah, I mean that's tough too. Like, there really is a thing about people thinking differently and
Yeah.
coming from a different space, but it's not just men and women. Like, I
Yeah.
think a lot of it has to do with just your experiences
Yeah.
and where you're coming from as a person, right?
Yeah.
Like, if someone's that I trust has hurt me, someone I don't know is trying to do something for me, automatically I'm going to go into that space of trauma. So
Right.
I think a lot of those things are just so individual, depending on the person and the way that they grew up and the way that they created their point of view and their way of thinking.
Yeah. It is like for men, like that's the thing. Like I'm sure women have the same kind of issues where if a man meets somebody he really likes and he's trying to kind of, it's almost like you can't be too obvious, but you're trying to kind of set the ground rules, right? Like, okay, here's how I believe, here's how I'd like you to, but you really can't do that too much, right? It's kind of like, okay, you are who you are, I am who I am, and if it's going to mesh together, it meshes together. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I think, why conversations are so important, because the more that you talk to someone and you get to know who they are and why they think the way they think and how they even think, the
Right.
more likely you are to be able to make something like that work or not.
Right. So I'm 67 now. So if I meet women they're like in their 50s and stuff, and I'm giving my example. It's a two-way street, I know, but a lot of people, like, they've been through a lot of stuff, so there's some damage there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think trauma is huge right now. Like, we're like unpacking a lot of trauma right
No
now,
kidding.
as humanity as a whole.
No kidding. Yeah. Like people have, and it's like the ability. I believe it's not having the ability to move past the trauma, right? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so you've had the trauma. I get it. I feel bad that you've gone through it. But at some point, don't you have to say, okay, this person I'm talking to now didn't put me through the trauma that I went through years ago, right? This is a whole different person.
Well, and the fact that, like, if you are operating under the conditions of trauma, like, is it serving you? Like,
Yeah.
because, like, sometimes we also need to realize, like, things are the way they are because of the way that I'm thinking about them, not because they're any other way. And that part's hard. I mean, in my coaching part of my business, I see a lot of that, and it's tough, because you see, like, men that are your age still dealing with trauma from their mothers when they were young, and it's like, well, I can see how, like, things haven't worked out for you in life,
Yeah.
because, like,
So
your relationship with women has been based on this mother that
right.
like, that you deem did all these things to you
Right.
and caused these traumas that you're literally transporting with you from relationship to relationship.
And I like the way you put that, the way you deem, like, it doesn't necessarily even have to be the truth totally. Like, sometimes, is it right? It's like, I find more now men are using those kinds of things, almost manufacturing the trauma.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and I say deem also because when you think about your parents, like, they're only gonna raise you the way that they know how. Like,
Right.
they're not gonna be able to do anything different. So if you as an adult are putting all this blame and all this responsibility on them, however, like, when they were doing it, like, that's all they
Yeah.
knew to
Totally.
do. Like, obviously not all trauma is as simple as that, but yeah, so a lot of times it's like you're seeing how much they effed you up because of the
Yeah.
way they did this or that, but like they didn't know any better, you know,
Right.
like they raised you the way they could. Like, and as an adult, it's now our responsibility to say, okay, well, I see how these things are affecting the way that I'm acting or reacting to these types of
Right.
situations, so that you can take inventory and start to take responsibility. Because the thing is, if you're blaming your parents all the time, then you have zero responsibility, and
Right.
then so you can't change and you can't make it any
Totally.
different. So that's also kind of like an escape.
'Cause and that's interesting you say it that way too, because I've gone through this phase where I like in the past, it's like, I don't have feelings at all. Just give me a beer. I don't, care about anything. Then I thought, okay, now Tom, you need to be more aware of your feelings. So you start to look back at your past and you think, okay, my mother didn't hug me enough or whatever it was. And then I'm going, like I'm thinking, what good is that doing me? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you want to like look into your feelings, but dwelling on it, there's that you don't want to dwell on it either, right? It's like, okay, you might, like you
Well,
said,
there's a thin line between being aware of it and then just being aware and identifying yourself with it,
right,
right? So being aware is, okay, this happened and it's manifesting its way this way.
right,
But the other way is, this happened and I am like this because of that.
right,
Because if you're like this because of that, then there is no changing it. There's nothing you can do.
right,
And I think like that's where like the growth comes in, because if you are a victim of it, then there
right,
is no growth. But if you can see how it's causing you to do certain things, that awareness at least leaves room for
right.
evolution
So
and change.
it's okay to recognize what happened, but
Of course.
don't let it determine who you are, right? That's right. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's important to recognize what happens, because otherwise we're acting a lot based on unconscious and subconscious things, and we're
Right.
not really being intentional with the way that we are showing up, when we're just a bundle of conditioned reflexes and yeah.
Yeah. Man, we got off into some different stuff here today. We didn't plan on. Yeah. Man.
Pulling them out of the hat today.
Oh man. That I tell you, that whole topic about relationships and I think it's really even more interesting now as because like you said, women have changed, men have changed. I talk to more and more men now who are just saying, listen, I'm never going to be with a woman
Well,
again.
I think there is something cool about the change, though. It's about, like, I think it's awesome that we are more open to, like, I think this way and I want to create something that looks like this, and finding someone who kind of fits in that with them. Like, I mean, I do think that that's part of the evolution of relationships. It's
Right.
like, let's get out of this box that we've been
Right.
taught relationship has to fit in. And this is really what I see in my ideal relationship, and then being open enough to communicate that and finding someone, because I always say, no matter how freaky you think you are, you're gonna find someone
Oh
who's
yeah,
just as
totally.
freakier than
But
you. So,
okay.
but being honest and open with that, and
Yeah.
so you can find the right person for that, I think
Yeah.
that that's really where there's a little bit of growth still left
Yeah.
to do. But I think we're moving in the right direction, in that
We
people
are.
aren't just saying, well, we have to get married and we have to have kids and we have to live this way.
I,
um
I got to tell you, I talk to more and more men now who say, I'm never getting married. They
yeah.
say it's just like you get into the whole discussion like, or I'm going to go over to Thailand, or I'm going to go to the Philippines, and it's see, and you're unique in that you don't fit in the box. But I got to tell you though, I think most women in the United States, from the men I talk to, seem to be fitting in the box. And maybe they don't want to be in the box, but then they've got a group of friends that are telling them, okay, why are you like,
Not in the box.
yeah, why are you out of the box? That's not the way we live our lives here. Like the man should not treat you this way. This is
Yeah.
right. But
But again, you attract people from your same vibe, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
like I would say half of my friends are unmarried. Quite a few of them don't have children.
right. Yeah,
Um, So, I mean, yeah, most people around me don't have the conventional
Right.
things
But
going
yeah,
on
but
either.
like you said, that's the world you live in, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm a 67-year-old, twice divorced man. So the world I live in is a lot of men who have been divorced who are like, I'm
Yeah.
never doing it again. Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. God, 67. God. I tell you what,
But
I
that's why age, come on now, Tom.
yes, I
Like
know.
yeah, come
I,
on. I
but
think it's such age is nothing but a number.
I
Like
know. I got to tell you, to your point, you're right. The only thing the age has done for me is made me more determined to not be getting old. Like it's like physically, emotionally, like it's a mission. I get up, like I go to bed now thinking I'm like, I go to bed intentionally. Like I never paid attention to my sleep time before. So I'm up by 4 o'clock in the morning. The gym opens at 5. So I'm in bed like at 9 o'clock. I'm saying I'm getting my 7 hours of sleep. God damn it. I'm thinking to myself, I'm mad that I got to go to bed at 9, but at the same time, I say I'm getting my 9 hours of sleep or 7 hours of sleep. And I'm doing my mental training and before I go to the gym. And
Mhm.
no, I'm with you. I think it's important to not fall in. Well, same old stuff. Not fall in that trap to say, okay, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
57 or 70 or whatever it is. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, like I have a client who's in his early 60s and says to me all the time, "But my time is running out."
Oh,
And like to me, that is like the most ignorant
yeah.
thing that someone could say because
I
you
know.
could still have 40 years, which
Oh, yeah.
is like a third of your life. And
Right.
and like what about the people that are born and die when they're in their teens?
Sure.
Like like how do they measure what time? I just think it's weird. Like I think there's people that are my age that are acting like old people already. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
my dad walks with a woman who's 97 years old and like is after the walk she's like, where's my beer, and she's just out having a good
That's
time.
fine.
So I really think age is a state of
Right.
living. I don't think it has anything to do with how many years we've been on this physical experience.
But once again, it's that whole thing we're conditioned to think about death and all that kind of stuff. Instead of just saying, to me, it drives my kids nuts. I said, listen, if I get to the point where I can't take care of myself, tie me to the front of a truck someplace, put me out in the highway, like get rid of me. Like I don't care about the dying. I care about living all out. While
Yeah.
I can. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care about dying. I care about living.
Yeah, is that true? Like the whole thing about having a bucket list, I think is the weirdest thing. Like, okay, so somebody's going to tell you you're dying from some disease. Now you're going to go out there and start living and doing all the things you should be doing. Why not just do it before you're being told you're going to die? Right. So,
Yeah, like one of the things I remember reading this whatever article or something about a bunch of older people that were sick in bed were asked like what do they regret? And most of them regretted things that they didn't do.
yeah,
So
cool.
my whole life I'm like I'd much rather regret the things that I'm
Totally.
doing than the things that I'm not doing. So
Yes,
I'm going to go out and I'm going to do. Like
absolutely.
it's just I
And,
have to.
and you know what? We worry so much sometimes, like, oh, if I make a mistake, people are going to laugh at you. You know what? People got so much else
Nobody
going on.
cares.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
could care less. Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah,
They're
definitely.
so worried about their own
Yeah.
crap that they don't care.
Yeah. They may laugh at you for 30
And
seconds.
don't put it on social media so that
Oh,
nobody even finds out,
oh,
right?
I
Because
know.
that's another issue. Like, obviously, when you put out everything you're doing, then people find out. But most people don't have any idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not out there like, look at me over here, look at me over there. Because then that way, like, I enjoy it. I don't need anyone else to enjoy it. I need to enjoy it.
Yeah. And if you're going through a tough time, I don't know why people want to promote that you're going through a tough time too, right? Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, that's because you're gonna see people and hear from people that are gonna have completely different
Yeah.
ideas of what you're going through than you. So like look for counsel, not for opinions.
I know. It was a great saying. Why would I listen to somebody else's opinion that I really wouldn't care? Or there's some saying like that. Like,
That's never done what you're trying to do.
yeah. So yeah, totally. All right, good job. I like sometimes when we have a topic, but I also like when we just get rolling here and get on this kind of stuff. Very good. Good job.
We were rolling today.
All right, Puerto Rican princess.
Talk to
Uh,
you soon.
are you going to be? I'm sorry, I asked you already, but when are you traveling? When are you going to Bali?
I leave the 25th. I'll be in New York first, so I'll go and
Oh,
hit you up when I'm in New York.
like it. Absolutely. Good job. All right, sweetie. Have a
Yeah.
great week. Talk to you. Bye.